Hello, welcome to Off the Cuff with Kim Bady. So today we're so excited to have you. Tell us a few things about you. What is your birthday, month, day?
The year too. You don't want to know what
We want to know whatever you want to give us.
Ooh, okay. November 22nd, 1973. I'm proud to be almost 53 years young.
Okay. Kimberly, tell us what your love language is.
All of them.
I
All
love
of
it.
them.
All of them.
Give me everything.
I want it.
All of it.
Okay, we love it. What are you most thankful for in this moment?
My breath, the ability to inhale and exhale.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
You're going to make me cry.
It's the Kleenex.
Yes. Okay. Tell us, you are successful, beautiful, and
alive.
Alive.
And liberated. Can I say that one? Can I say two?
Yes.
Liberated.
Yes. I love
that. Yes. Thank you. Off the cuff.
The views and opinions expressed by guests are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the hosts, the show, its producers, affiliates, contractors, employees, or any other associated entities. No endorsement is implied.
Elegant. Successful. Beautiful. Classy. Unique. Purpose. Empowered. Strong. Overcomer. Free. Powerful. She rises. Welcome to Successful.
Beautiful.
And
I'm Natalie.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Tonyeka. Today we're so excited. Thank you for joining us. We have a special guest today, and we're so excited to have Kimberly Bady. Yay! So I'm going to get started by, is everyone okay today?
Yes, we're great.
Good. Y'all
I'm
look
loving
amazing.
the Diana Ross hair, ma'am.
Dirty Diana.
Did she say dirty?
And she don't have the glasses on.
Oh my goodness.
What's happening today?
What is going on?
All right.
What kind of show did I sign up for?
Exactly. I'm not ready.
You never know.
I'm not ready.
So we're going to get started today. I'm glad that everyone is looking so beautiful and ready for this show. I'm going to start with reading Kimberly's bio. Kimberly Bady is a TEDx speaker, author, certified integrative nutrition health coach, certified yoga teacher, breathwork coach, menopause mentor, and rites of passage guide devoted to helping women reclaim a loving relationship with their bodies throughout every season of life. As the founder of Liberated Womanhood, Kimberly's work bridges ancient wisdom with modern wellness, guiding women from menarche to menopause through life's sacred transitions with compassion, education, and empowerment. She believes these seasons are not problems to be fixed, but powerful rites of passage that invite women into deeper healing, greater self-trust, and authentic feminine power. Kimberly began her journey serving as the director of women's ministry at her church, where she walked alongside women in their spiritual growth. Over time, that calling expanded beyond the walls of the church into a broader ministry of women's well-being, one that embraces holistic health, cyclical living, menopause education, embodiment practices, and honoring the divine feminine as a pathway to wholeness. Through speaking, coaching, writing, retreats, and transformational experiences, Kimberly helps women reconnect with the wisdom of their bodies, embrace self-care as a sacred practice, and step confidently into the next chapter of their lives with grace and purpose. This fall, Kimberly will expand Liberated Womanhood to include doula services, furthering her mission of supporting women through life's most meaningful transitions with presence, dignity, and care. And with all that said, we could not cut your bio short because all of it was so important. So thank you and welcome to the show. And with that said, we'll get started.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Kim.
Hey, get it ready, get it ready, get it ready, ready. Get it ready, get it ready, get it ready, ready. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you all so much for having me.
We're excited to have you.
I have been watching from day one. So I'm one of y'all day one.
Thank you.
Day one.
Subscribers, like, share, and
Yes.
subscribe. That was me. That was me.
Thank you.
And y'all have just done an amazing job. So I just wanted to congratulate you all on 1 year doing this. And you're showing up consistent. The production is top notch.
Yes.
And I can really appreciate that. So thank y'all so much for having me here.
And thank you for those words. That
Yes.
means a lot.
Means a lot.
My
Yes.
pleasure, my pleasure. And then when we were sitting across the table from each other in Houston a couple months ago, and y'all were like, "We're going to have you on the podcast," I was like, "Mm-hmm."
We are women of our word.
So I'm so happy that you all stuck to your word and
came through.
Yes, came through. So I'm just so happy to be here.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. We're happy to have you. So, ladies, do you have anything you want to get started, or do we want to just open it up and have Kimberly to tell us about her upbringing?
Yeah. Let's
Well, you
start
know
there.
what?
Okay,
You know
let's
what
do
I
it.
do want to say is
Okay.
that we have this amazing connection, right? So we share this thing in common. We're all former pastors' wives, so that's the big, I guess, elephant in the room, if you will. But Natalie and I have a connection long. How many years?
I was thinking about that this morning. I think when I met you, I don't think I'd had my oldest.
Right.
Oh,
so
She's
that was-
24.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
at
She was
minimum,
a baby. Yeah.
25 years,
Yeah,
I think,
a
but I think a
long
little bit
time.
longer. Yeah.
So my ex-husband was the bishop, and then you and your husband were y'all.
Ex
Was it?
husband.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
Yeah.
bad.
Clarity.
Was
It was. Fix that. So you and your ex were pastors in that particular fellowship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Tonyeka, we go back how many years?
elementary. Yeah.
Elementary school.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So 40, like 4 decades,
I
40
know.
something. Yeah, long time.
Y'all
so
look good.
thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's those the juices and the berries.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But my father pastored, so my PK, and Tonyeka's family were members of the church. So we go way back.
And I went to A.S. Johnson, got the school.
My dad had a Christian academy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Oh, my sisters are going to laugh when I tell them that. So,
Hilarious.
So yeah, I'm a PK and a former pastor's wife. And let's see, what do y'all want to know in particular? Just jump in there. Just dump.
deep in the ministry.
Yeah,
Wow.
deep in the ministry. Absolutely. So just growing up, my dad met my mom in Baltimore, Maryland. So my mom's from Baltimore. I'm from Texas. When they met, my dad had just gone through a recovery. He recovered from a heroin addiction. So he was in Baltimore with his stepdad working at a mattress factory. It was, I guess, supposed to be like just a short-term project or whatever. But he was there, and he got into trouble. His stepfather took him to Baltimore with him to get him out of trouble, out of Houston, out of Acres Homes. And he got up there and got into more trouble. And he watched the mother of the house, I don't know what you call, because I don't know the terminology, but the mother of that particular drug house OD. And that was his awakening moment, and he knew something had to change. Well, somebody wound up witnessing to him while he was there, and then he went to the church that my mom was going to. He got saved, and shortly after that, they got married, and he started church. They started, churches, and they moved back to Texas, started churches, and then started having babies. So we grew up, Pentecostal family, tent meetings and all of that.
The real stuff.
Yes, open air service and tent revivals. My dad was still doing tent revivals up until the year he passed.
Wow.
So in 2015, he knew, he had started to decline in his health, and he knew things were getting pretty bad. But he said, if I could just do one more tent revival. So he did the tent revival, and then he checked himself into the hospital. It wound up being cancer, and he lived about 6 months after that.
Wow.
But yeah, so I was just mentioning recently that, as you mentioned, I'm a yoga teacher. So my dad used to do these tent meetings, different parts of the city, Fifth Ward, all over. So I remember being in Fifth Ward, doing, as kids, him doing tent meetings and open air services. And just recently I was doing a yoga class out on the lawn in Fifth Ward. And I'm like, how interesting is this?
Yeah.
My dad was doing tent meetings, and here I am teaching yoga.
Now, what part of Houston is Fifth Ward? Is that TSU, U of H area?
No, it's like kind of east of downtown.
Okay.
It's like east downtown, right out of I-10, I-10 and like Laura Copy areas. It's not Laura Copy. Lockwood is Fifth Ward. What's the other Lowndes? Because we don't call it Lions, Lyons.
Yes.
We call it Lowndes. Lowndes Avenue.
Because we're from Texas.
Because we're from Houston in particular. If you know Houston, it's Lowndes Avenue.
Lowndes
so
Avenue,
yeah.
Funny. Okay.
Yeah. So we, grew up church family. My mom was one of my biggest inspirations, and she was like one of the first ladies that I knew that divorced. And so when we were little, we were stair step kids. My older sister was probably 8. I was 7. My brother was 6. My other sister was 5. She swooped us up and put us on a plane. Well, my dad was on a revival and moved us to Baltimore, Maryland. Because although my dad had become delivered from heroin, there were other addictions. That addiction, and then you're familiar with this. Sometimes those addictions can, I guess, transfer. So he didn't go through the 12-step or anything like that. He just got delivered, and he never went back. The beautiful thing is that he helped so many people in his life. And even at his funeral, there were people, there attesting to the fact that he helped them get off drugs. But unfortunately, he, had the issue with women. And we have a sister that's about the age, a little bit younger than my baby sister. And so my mom remembers this so vividly. Driving on the way to a revival somewhere. And the secretary, my dad's secretary, got sick and needed to pull over and threw up. And my mom knew she's pregnant.
Honey, it's them church secretaries.
Wait. Pregnant by
my dad.
Your dad.
Yeah.
They were all in the car together.
They were all in the car, and she got sick. And my mom knew it because we know these things.
Yes.
So intuitively, she knew, and then she knew intuitively other women, and then sometimes some of the other women would like sneer at her, snicker, and be mean to her. And so she had enough. She had enough of that, and so she put us on a plane to Baltimore, Maryland. And my dad found out. He was pissed. Can I say pissed on this show?
Absolutely.
Okay, pissed. He was livid. He was pissed. So he and one of the minister friends got in the car, and when they found out where we were, and they drove a few days, they got to Baltimore, and we were there in my grandmother's apartment, and it was right in the heart of the high-rise projects. Well, he wasn't supposed to do this, but he took my brother, and he's running through the project. My mom called the police, and so you've got this police chase in the project. It was just a hot mess.
Wow.
So, but they couldn't do anything because she didn't have custody. There were no protective orders, so he was able to take my brother. So the 3 of us remained in Baltimore. My dad brought my brother back to Houston. And then about a year or so later, a couple years later, he came back for a visit with my brother. And this time, my brother and sister, we were all outside playing, and he grabs my brother, throws him in the van, puts my sister in the van too, and then just left. So now he has my older sister, my brother. We're thinking we're all going to be together. My brother was like, he was ready to stay here, stay in Baltimore. And so my dad took my oldest sister and my brother back to Houston. And then we stayed in Baltimore, myself and my youngest sister. Well, a few years later, things calmed down. We went to go visit my dad, myself and my youngest sister. I was probably 12 at that time. Okay. And we got to Houston, And we're supposed to be there for the summer. We're just going to have some big fun. By the way, did I say we were Pentecostal? So we wore pants, when we were, living in Baltimore.
Oh,
but
in
when we
Baltimore.
came back
Not
to
in
Houston, it's like, y'all, we going to Wieners. Remember Wieners?
Yes.
We going to Wieners.
The shopping.
Get y'all some skirts, get y'all some jean skirts,
Yes.
some tennis shoes, and
Because you're going to be saved.
because you're going to be saved here. You're going to have the right
Yes.
attire. You're going to be modest.
Yes.
Okay. So we get here having a great time this summer, spending time with our siblings. And it's about time to go back, and we go shopping, and he's like buying us uniforms. And we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're going back to Baltimore. And he's like, no, you're not going back. So I was 12. My youngest sister, I guess, was 10 maybe. And he wound up keeping us, and he said, well, I have custody of you now. So we didn't know that they were in the whole custody battle. So my mom wound up giving up custody because she felt like she didn't have the resources to fight it. So she just wound up signing the court documents.
Had she come to Texas with you guys and was just somewhere else? Or
She was still in Baltimore,
Baltimore?
so he sent for us to come to Houston, and just said, y'all not going back. I have custody of you now. And so that was really hard being away from my mom. It was probably about 3 years. That was the first time I'd been away from her. But she's an inspiration to me because I watched her rebuild her life so many times, and that was the first time I watched her leave here with no resources, and I knew that for me, when it came time for me to make a move, that I would be okay because my mom, I watched her do this. I watched her rebuild her life several times. So we're here in Houston, or we're there in Houston, and then my dad announces that he's getting married.
Oh.
Yeah. So my dad, he remarried to, someone that we didn't really, care for. And a lot of people didn't care for. Well, I'm just going to put a pin in that.
Okay.
The word on the street was, but what was interesting was that family, her and her 3 children, were members of the church, and my dad brought them in to live with us because they were getting evicted out of their home. They didn't have anywhere to go. She was a single mom and 3 kids living with the single pastor and his 4 kids. So that's a whole other story.
Right, because what's that look like?
What does that?
Don't let your good be evil
Evilly spoken
of.
of, right? But nobody, really questioned that. And so anyway, the day that he announced to the church that he was going to be getting married, all hell broke loose. At the end of church, there was a family that had grown up at the church. A couple of the sisters, there was a big brawl after church in the back.
Literal
brawl.
Oh,
yeah. So between my dad's wife, fiance at that time, and 2 women from this family that grew up at the church. So yeah, it was just shenanigans.
my God.
Yeah, it was a mess. But about 3 years later, we were able to get back to Baltimore. My mom had come into some money, and she sent for us. But she would come visit us. And it was just so hard, though, to be without our mother. I remember the airport visits, right? Like just saying goodbye. For a long time, I struggled just going to airports because it was just so painful to say goodbye. So the trauma of that. So we get to Baltimore this time. She sent for us. So we're there, and she says, we say we're not going back. By this time, I'm 15, my older sister's 16, so we kind of have a say. But my younger brother, 14, then my sister, 13, they didn't really have as much of a say. So my dad wound up coming to get them and brought them back. And we stayed. My older sister and I stayed in Baltimore. I was about 18 when we moved back. My mom wanted to start over again, and we moved back to Texas. And we started going to this church. So here's the story. Okay, I'm coming up to the story. So 18 years old. Okay, 18, PK, all that. Experience with church and all of that. 18 years old, we started going to this church when we moved to Texas. A lot of the people who were members of our church back in the day were members of this fast-growing, energetic, charismatic church. The pastor was single. There were a lot of single people. The music was great. The band was great. Everything. It was just just a great environment. So we wind up joining the church.
Okay.
Fast forward, I'm 19 years old now. I had already graduated high school at Eisenhower in Houston, and I was going to community college at the time and working. I wanted to become a sign language interpreter. We had become very involved in the church. So I was doing sign language. We were in the choir. My sister and I, we were in the young adult ministry. It was first the youth ministry, but we just felt like we were too mature for the youth. They were little babies. So we need to be with some young adults. So they created the young adult ministry for us. My sister and I in the young adult ministry. I'm in the sign language ministry. We're in the choir, and I get a tap on the shoulder. I'm 19 now. And I was asked, it was told to me that I was going to be approached by the pastor to go on a date. And I was like, okay. It was out of the blue for me. I knew a lot of the women in the church liked the pastor, as common with a single pastor.
Married or not.
Married, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, part.
that part.
Married or not.
Right. So it was told to me that he was interested and would ask me on a date.
And this is
dinner.
just someone that's randomly telling you this?
This was the administrator of the church and told me this.
Okay.
So it was kind of a grooming situation going on, preparation. So he told me that. So, okay, I was like, okay, I'll be ready. And he just kind of, gave me that little heads up. So he asked me to dinner, and I was like, okay. He pulled me to the side, asked me to dinner. The mother of the church at the time took me shopping so I could find something nice to wear, because we were living in the hood. We didn't have a whole lot of resources. My mom was starting all over again. And she took me shopping, bought me a dress, some perfume. No,
Was
she
your
bought me
father
perfume.
still living at this time?
My dad was still living, yeah.
Okay.
So she brought me a dress. She brought me a purse. And I went and got my hair done, everything, got all dolled up. We went on our first date. He came to the hood to pick me up. They were probably shooting craps outside on the front step of our apartments. We went out on a date. He brought me flowers, has done some, romantic gestures. And he asked me if I would be open to dating him with the intention to marry him. Yeah, I'm 19. He's 31.
Wow.
Yeah, so there is that. I mean, now that you look back at, back then I thought, oh, this is just a really interesting fairy tale. And I'm going on with it because, I don't have any other plans. What am I going to be doing? I'm just, I'm enjoying church. And I said, okay.
Wow.
So now when you think back on it, you see the grooming, you see you wanted somebody young, because there were other more appropriate aged women there, more, seasoned, more mature, more educated, more prepared for something like that. And I wasn't mature for my age, but when I look back at it now, it just really seems like it was more of an arranged. It was more of an arrangement. It wasn't
like that was the intention for you to be younger.
Right. Absolutely. Because I didn't know very much. I'm young. I'm a virgin. And they know this, right? They know that I'm a PK. So, I could play the part. Right. I could look the part. And I was chosen. So I kind of tease sometimes. I'm like, it felt like it was an arranged marriage.
Wow.
Wow. And somebody would hear that, that you were chosen, and feel like, wow, what an honor.
That's how I felt at the time. It wasn't until later on that I'm thinking, wait a minute, this was some grooming going on.
Right.
And this was, I had one of the older ladies of the church was, oh my God, I won't even go there. But they would basically trying to, prepare me for even the wedding night. And this can happen on the wedding night, and want you to be prepared, and I want you to. And I was like, oh, okay, we're having these conversations. So, yeah, it was kind of an arrangement. They wanted to kind of.
And everybody's in on this.
Yeah, everybody's in on it. But
That's
even,
crazy.
Even my mom was okay with it, because she just felt like, okay, I guess my daughter. Told my dad, he said he felt like it was weird at first that this older man would want this young girl. But he said, well, I raised y'all to marry pastors, so okay. So, yeah, it was for me like a fairy tale. I'm getting I'm getting out the ghetto
Mm-hmm.
and moving on up,
Right.
as they say.
Right.
Hit it, Natalie. Sing.
To
Moving
the
on
deluxe.
up.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did
What
you
did- Go ahead, Nikki.
did you get any pushback? Well, yes, pushback from the other women that were interested.
Yes, yeah. There was one in particular that we grew up with, and she was not happy
Mm.
because she liked him, and I knew she liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I was 19 though. I mean, you can't really blame me too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I knew she liked him. She was much older than us. She was like a big sister to us, and I knew she liked him.
Oh.
So he didn't like her though, but she thought he did because there was certain kind of advances she thought that in her mind that he liked her, but
Mm.
obviously did not. She was more age appropriate, more around his age,
Mm-hmm.
and
So not age appropriate.
so not
according to
right,
him.
right, yeah.
Wow.
So you wanted a younger woman who wasn't going to ask many questions, naive, and just kind of go along with the
flow.
program, go along with their flow. So, yeah.
Like the kids say, that gives me the ick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it does. When you think
Yes.
about
Mhm.
it, it really does now. Because I mean, your daughters are how old?
24 and 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
So can you imagine?
Mm-mm.
No. Right.
My
Right.
oldest was telling me about a gentleman that she had met. And I asked, I said, how old is he? And she said, oh, he's 27. Even that, in my mind, I was like, but wait,
Doing the math like in a
Right.
minute now.
Right.
it's not
Right.
so far,
Yeah.
above her age, but just still,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we all went up. My family, everybody just kind of said, "Well, this is a good, godly man. So this is right. This is what we're all moving toward." So yeah.
So I haven't heard you say anything about attraction or
no,
love
no,
or
no.
affection
No.
or any of the things that people
No.
want
Yeah,
and need and desire and lead you down this path.
right. I dreamed that of course my first experience would be like,
Of course.
and I dreamed that I would be with a very affectionate person because we're just a very affectionate family, but that wasn't the case. But during the courtship, I didn't think much of it because of him being a pastor. So I'm like, well, he doesn't want to cross the lines, and so. But there was no affection during the courtship time, and it was a very short courtship. It was 19, then I turned 20. So by the time it was about 11 months from the time that we started our first date until the time we got married. But it was all orchestrated already, from the first date to the marriage the following year.
So did you get to plan your own wedding?
No,
Oh,
no.
The colors.
We had a wedding planner, one of the men from the church who was, planned everybody's wedding and baby shower and he did all the flowers and stuff for the church and the banquets and he's
He's good, though.
He's really good. And he still, I think, does like wedding planning. But he planned the wedding, and it was a beautiful wedding. And I was, of course, gorgeous and had this very form-fitted kind of fishtail wedding gown, and it just looked like a fairy tale. And I remember going on the honeymoon, and on the day we were coming back, I cried, and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I'm just gonna miss my family. I'm gonna miss my sisters because I was so lonely on this honeymoon." And there was not a lot of affection, and so I'm like, if this is what this marriage is gonna be like, this is gonna be a very lonely place. And sure enough, it was pretty much for the entirety of the marriage, just a very lonely place. And not very, and I can like vividly remember like even times going in his office when he's doing whatever, and I'm in there and I stand at the door and he just kind of look up like, how can I help you? You need something?
Yeah.
Just very little touch and affection. So one of the things that I loved about being a pastor's wife, which I'm kind of curious about y'all's, like, what was your favorite thing? What was your least favorite thing? Because one of my favorite things was just loving on the people.
Yes.
Loving on the people, because I didn't get a lot of affection I wasn't getting a lot of affection at home. So being there and just hugging people, like I knew most of their names and their babies' names and their grandmother's names and their pets' names. Like I was that, pastor's wife, just hugging and loving on everybody. Because I was love starved. So I could give love and could receive love from the congregation. That was one of my favorite things about being a first lady. The least favorite thing was picture day. Picture day was just a big, fake, dishonest, just because the photographer would pose us together. And I know y'all are familiar with picture day because you've had to, you all been on billboards. We've been on billboards. And so you had to get the pictures for the season, for the graphics, for the, what do you call the thing on the outside of the church at the marquee and all that. So you had to have fresh pictures for different things. So we did pictures probably several times, maybe 2-3 times a year. We would, do pictures, get your makeup, get your hair done, get the clothes and all that. And they would pose us kind of intimately, hugging, embracing, your hand here, your hand on the back, your hand on her hip, your hand looking at each other, gazing, like close, intimate. Yeah. But I knew that this was not my reality at home. So we were taking these pictures and looking the part, and it just felt so wrong. It felt so dishonest. So that was my probably one of my least favorite things. So, but I'm curious as and I know I'm not in the driver's seat asking questions, but I'm curious as to what was y'all's favorite and least favorite thing being a pastor's wife.
Who wants to start? Natalie, you start.
Okay. My favorite thing was the people. The people were one of the reasons that I stayed as long as I did. Because I did love on the people. It was said often from the pulpit that the people loved me and liked him, which was true. But yeah, I loved the people, and I got to be close to them and know their lives and things of that nature, and not necessarily from this counseling position, but just them as people and me just as the pastor's wife, if you will. I absolutely loved that. What I liked the least was the dog and pony show.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is would often have my girls come up on stage, say this, what does this verse say? Then they said, and of course they're excited because their dad is proud of them and the people are clapping for them, whatever. I absolutely hated that. Yeah. Absolutely hated it. Because it wasn't genuine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I can relate.
Yes. Nikki?
My most favorite part of being a first lady was the people.
Yeah.
My least favorite, the people.
Keep it real.
Yeah. And then also the part that my least favorite part was I felt like my husband did not prioritize me and the family. Yeah. I felt like the church always came first.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For me, it was my favorite part was the people. And I must agree with Nikki. I think my least favorite part was not being a priority.
Yeah.
If someone called and they were crying or there was a concern with another, I want to phrase it with females in particularly. He was more concerned, dropping everything. But
sister so and so.
Right. But if I was crying or if I was hurt, that's just Tonyeka.
Yeah.
So that was my least favorite thing. I
agree with that. I remember during our courtship, there was a conference. It may have been one of the early Harvest Fest conference. I remember there was a senior woman in the room, in the green room. I think it was probably before or after service, probably after service. She told me, she said, let me just put this bug in your ear. You will never be first. Oh, she sure did. You never, and she was right.
Absolutely.
You know, the church, the ministry took the the front seat.
Yeah.
And then we were often in the back seat. But yeah.
But I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Having to be present, having to be on.
Yeah.
Having to look the part. I was. This just pissed me off when I thought about it. Nat, just sit there and look pretty.
Yeah.
Ninja.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I wind up taking modeling classes because I needed to be refined and because it was always like you're not stand up straight, you're not standing, you're slouching.
So let me just say, you said earlier, and please hold that note. I just want to make sure that this is like a footnote. You asked earlier, could you say pissed? You can say pissed, and you can curse. Okay. No. Okay. You can cuss. You can cuss, not curse. We want to hear some cussing. Now, please proceed.
Yes. So, so there was a lot of, the critique, the critiquing as well was pretty harsh. What I had on. So a lot of times he would buy things for me so I could look better and more presentable. So it was always a critique about something. And
I remember often saying to you, you look so pretty. And you would say, Bishop got this for me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
And I thought that was the coolest thing that your husband bought things for you.
Yeah.
Now.
Control. Yeah, the control, And he picked out some beautiful pieces.
Because you would fly.
And usually
all the time.
when he purchased it, of course, the budget was more extensive if he was able to, find something. But but it was a lot of that critique, the cooking, the cleaning, everything was just always a critique. And a big part of that was age. I didn't say the right thing. I slipped and said something wrong, or didn't, But one of the things that I can appreciate, there was, I have the internet pastor, Reverend Michael Beckwith out of California, and he says about relationships, we can harvest the good from these relationships. And that was one thing that I, being a public speaker and being comfortable, because it was like one of the things that I had to do. And it was always being critiqued about what I said and had to prepare. And so I'm not afraid to get in front of the camera. I'm not afraid to stand in, so when I was doing the TEDx talk, which was really interesting, by the way, but we'll talk about that later. But they were like, are you nervous? I was like, yeah, I'm a little nervous, but I feel like I belong on stage because I had the opportunity, because it was constant, like, you didn't do this right, or you didn't do that right, or you missed this, or you missed that. Stand up straight, you're slouching. It was just, I remember my mom told me once, she said, my mom was a member of the church for a while. She says, I really like the way he looks at you when you're talking and you're giving the greeting. And they didn't know until I was about to get divorced that, hey, I'm out, that anything was wrong, because I just did not tell them. I had a couple of friends that I shared, close friends that I shared some things with, but my parents, my dad, my sisters did not know what was going on. So my mom admired that. She said, I admire the way he looks at you. And I was just thinking to myself, he's taking note, and he's probably going to tell me that I was slouching or that I needed to, push my shoulders back and, how are you standing, and stand a certain way. And so, so I did the modeling classes, went to Barbizon School of Modeling and learned how to sit properly and stand properly and what fork to eat with. And so they had the etiquette portion of it as well. And then the modeling classes where we would, walk with the books on our heads and then, know how to pose. And so, the whole dog and pony thing Sister Kim, go and walk across the stage. You probably remember some of these times. Go and walk across the stage. Show the people.
Don't she look good?
Don't she look good? Turn around. Pose. So I do not miss that. Oh, my God, I do not miss that.
How offensive and disrespectful and degrading and absolutely demeaning, minimizing. What are other words?
All of them.
All All of them.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I sit here now, it almost makes me tearful because I was in the audience and I saw this, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't know that we were experiencing the same thing,
yeah.
but in
In a
different
different-
from different
Yeah.
perspectives.
Now, what was interesting, I remember you all came to stay with us.
Yes.
Was it a weekend or for a few days or
Yeah.
something at one of it's the house in Spring?
Oh, it was great.
And y'all were going through something. You and your ex were going through something. And I remember thinking, so he was the counselor and he was, trying to help put things back together so y'all would stay together. And I was thinking to myself, how in the hell
Right.
could, how is this even possible?
I'm sorry, I was triggered. Go
You were,
ahead.
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
you look at something that you think is one way and it's completely different. And that's, I was really appreciating the show that you all did with Maisha because, she wrote the book Honest and just to be able to tell her truth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of the things that I also wanted to say was that when you're young and you grow up in church and it's told to you, you got to marry a man who loves the Lord because if they love the Lord, they're going to love you, baby.
Baby.
Mm.
They may love the Lord, but they may have mental health issues.
Absolutely.
All
And that's
sorts
a
of-
question that people don't talk about. They don't ask in that
Right.
dating and courting and considering marriage phase. People don't ask about people's mental health. That's
Right.
I don't care if you're offended. I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have to take medication for any mental health issue?
Or should you?
Right.
Yes.
Are you undiagnosed?
Yes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
not that it's this horrible thing, but I need to
Right.
know
I need
that
to
so I
know
can make an
that.
informed decision.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely. Because it's so important. And so I tell, young girls all the time, they looking for a mate. I'm like, it's good to have that as a criteria,
Yeah.
Right.
but that doesn't mean that they're a good people.
Right.
They may love God.
Right.
They may worship. That was our mindset. Oh, you see how beautiful he's worshiping God. His hands are up and he's crying out to God. But is he nice at home? Is he mean? Is he demeaning? Is he a narcissist? Is he,
Is he screwing Sally Sue Jane?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I, after about 14 years of that, I had enough. Just the lack of closeness, the lack of intimacy, the feelings of aloneness. I remember my therapist. I got a therapist probably close towards the end of the marriage, and
Did
that
he
was
know
one
that?
thing. Say again.
Did he know that you had a therapist?
Yes, because I wanted him to go with me, but he didn't. He refused at first, but then he wound up going towards the end. But oftentimes by the end, it's just too late. It's a done deal. I remember my therapist saying something to me that just blew my mind. Now, bring that back. Help me. Like I'm going to put a pin in that, but I want to go back here.
Okay.
One of the reasons I struggled to find like a therapist, I wanted to find a Black woman therapist, but I didn't want people in my business.
Yeah.
And then it was said so I told a friend of mine, I said, I really need some help. I really need some mental help. And she said, well, just be careful. I told her a place that I was going to go to. And she said, well, be careful because one of my friends went there and as they were coming out, they saw one of the members of their church. So back then, like now, it's just common therapy. People are, we're talking about it. We have podcasts talking about it. Therapy. It's a good thing.
Right.
People brag about their therapists
Right.
nowadays. But back then,
And thank y'all so much. We appreciate it.
but back then that was not the case, and it was so taboo if you were seen coming out of a therapist.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we didn't want people to know what was going on. So I did not have a Black therapist, but I did have this older white guy, I think he was Jewish guy, and he had been practicing for about 2 decades or more. And he told me that my case, telling him my story, he said, this is the most extreme case of neglect that I have ever heard.
Wow.
The most extreme case.
Wow.
And that floored me because I'm like, sir, you are the expert. I'm pretty sure you've seen it all. But apparently he hadn't seen it all. And that was the most extreme case. So when I got sick of it, I got sick of it. And I decided that it was, time for me to move on. And it was it was definitely one of the most difficult things, to go through. But again, back to my mom, I watched her rebuild her life several times. And I said, if mama can do it, I can do it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, what's so interesting to me through all of this is that, and I know, of course, no one's perfect, but we use scripture by selection.
Right.
We preach by selection because the Bible clearly says, husbands,
Love your wives.
love your wives
As
Christ loves the church.
Yeah.
Christ did not neglect the church.
No.
Christ didn't treat the church any kind of way. So that's just, it's so puzzling to me.
Yeah.
And even before that, it talks about us submitting one to another.
Right.
So even before it gets to the wife to tell the wife, submit to your husband and see that you
Yes.
respect him, it says that we submit one to another, meaning that we are able to take on the wisdom of one another
That's right.
and apply that. Not because you're the head that you know all things, because that's not true.
Right.
Right.
Nor because you're the wife that is submitted to your husband that you know nothing. You submit to one another and you apply the wisdom, the knowledge, the experience of your mate so that you are effective.
That's right.
And husbands,
Yeah.
Right.
love your wives
Yeah.
as Christ loved the church.
Yes.
And wives, submit to your
Yeah.
husbands and see that you respect him.
Yeah.
It's like a whole package. He didn't miss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But they leave that part out.
They leave
It's
that
like,
part out.
okay, it's convenient. It's like,
Yeah.
let's just focus on this part, this convenient part. But this other part, we're just gonna
Yeah.
not really focus on that. So
Yeah.
And if you can't be if you can't be true to yourself, I mean, you can't preach me anything.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Don't even read the scripture in the beginning. I don't want to hear in the beginning. I don't want to hear you say it out of your mouth. Let me read it.
yeah.
I don't.
And I think that was one of the reasons. That was one of the issues that I had because my spiritual growth has started to kind of like, just I was not getting fed at the church because I was just tuned out because I'm like,
Do you feel like you
can't
ever were
hear-
really
Say it
fed?
again?
Do you feel like you ever were fed over those years?
I had a relationship. I feel like some of that I was,
Okay.
but a lot of it, especially when things were like really tumultuous in the home. And I can't really say it was tumultuous in that there was just fighting and screaming. It was just silence. It was just you in your area and I'm in my area. And yeah, it was, yeah. But one of the things that I really, just going back to what the therapist said, is this being one of the most severe cases of neglect. I vowed to myself that although that was neglect, one of the most, I feel that no one can neglect us like we neglect ourselves.
Yeah.
And I made a vow to myself to show up for myself.
Yeah.
I knew that my son, I have a son. He's 22. Oh, the love of my life.
And a cutie pie.
Yes. And I remember now, when he was 3 years old, because that's about the time that I left. He was 3 years old and he walked down the stairs. And we had this time, it was a big, beautiful home, the last home. Yeah. So he's walking down the stairs. I'm sitting on the stairs. And he says, "Mommy, are you okay?" And I just felt the weight of that. Like he felt the weight, but then I felt the weight of that. And I just said, you know what? I don't want him to grow up with an unhealthy mother. Because I knew my mental health, I needed help. I needed help. And I want to say this one last thing too, that was really interesting to me. And I think we may have talked about this before, but I had gone to a pastor's wife conference. I'm not going to say who was leading it because, people would know. And it was an intimate pastor's wife kind of retreat. And the leaders of it said that one of the perks was that we were to have a one-on-one with one of the teachers. So I'd already chose the one that I wanted to have this one-on-one with. We get to the service. The service is good. As they say, the spirit was high. We were in the spirit. We were laid and slayed and crying and falling out. And then they announce, the Lord has done enough. There is no need for any counseling because the Lord has done enough in this setting. And I said to myself, the hell? I done spent my money. I need some help. I can't go back to that
crazy.
situation without some tools. I
Right.
need some tools.
Right.
I know how to pray. And that's what we get a lot in these spaces. It's the spiritual bypassing.
Yes.
It's the pray it out, lay out before the Lord. God is going to tell you, well, I need some practical tools
Right.
to help me deal with what I have to deal with at home.
Right.
So I pulled the gentleman aside and I said, "Hey, can we, have our session? Because I paid for this conference." And he said, "Well, we're not going to be doing that." I said, "Well, I just need a few minutes of your time because I need some help. I need some help." And I think we do people a disservice
We do,
when we
absolutely.
just spiritual
Absolutely.
bypass and
Absolutely.
no, you all right. We prayed for you. Everything's going to
We
be all
live a
right.
natural life.
Yeah.
Right.
We live a natural
Yes.
life. We have to have food, literal food, for our
Yes.
bodies to be maintained.
That's right.
You know,
Right.
not just our spiritual food will maintain our bodies. It just won't. So we need
Yeah.
counsel and
Right.
wisdom poured
Yeah.
into us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as we wrap up our show today, I wanted to give the journal prompt. And it is, what life experiences have inspired you to dream bigger, do more, or step into something greater than yourself? I'll read it again. What life experiences have inspired you to dream bigger, do more, or step into something greater than yourself?
Wow.
It's so good.
Yes.
Kim, thanks for being with us today.
Yes.
My pleasure.
Yes.
I couldn't
Appreciate
wait to
you.
sit in this chair.
We have to have
And you look
back.
good.
Yes.
Thank you, darling. I had to come and represent because you all always just do it big and looking so fabulous. So I had to come and represent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining Successful, Beautiful.
And
Please like, share, and subscribe.
Have an amazing day.
Bye.
The content shared on this podcast is intended for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. While one of our hosts is a licensed professional counselor, the information provided here does not constitute a therapeutic relationship, nor is it a substitute for individualized mental health treatment or diagnosis. Listening to this podcast does not create a client-therapist relationship between you and our hosts. Any stories, examples, or discussions are either fictional, generalized, or used with permission for illustrative purposes and should not be taken as personalized therapeutic guidance. If you are in need of mental health support, we encourage you to consult with a licensed mental health professional in your area. If you are in crisis or experiencing a mental health emergency, please contact 911, your local crisis line, or 988, the National Suicide Crisis Lifeline. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.